Look at me, take a picture, it'll last longer. The mirror on the wall say I'm getting stronger. Ayo, the mirror don't lie. Ayo, the mirror don't lie. Look at me, take a picture, it'll last longer. The mirror on the wall say I'm getting stronger. Ayo, the mirror don't lie. If you want the truth, don't close your eyes. We got our back against the wall, we gotta fight back. I need a theme song, this the right track. I ain't got no cape or no superpowers, just confidence and self-esteem, the world is ours. I believed in me when nobody didn't. This ain't no freestyle, just some facts that's written. Come on, let's hear it for the boy. He bringing pain at the same time, joy. I bob and weave through the crowd, so untouchable. At first they hate, then they loving you. It's a crazy cycle, but I'm going through it. I wish I was lying, that's why I show and prove it. I'm destined to be one of the best to do it. I ain't saying I'm the GOAT, but I'm closer to it. I should get a statue in the front yard. Man, I'm shooting up my stats like a shooting guard. Look at me, take a picture, it'll last longer. The mirror on the wall say I'm getting stronger. Ayo, the mirror don't lie. Ayo, the mirror don't lie. Look at me, take a picture, it'll last longer. The mirror on the wall say I'm getting stronger. Ayo, the mirror don't lie. If you want the truth, don't close your eyes. I'll give it to you in 3D or even play by play. I'm your guest announcer, are you here today? Yo, let me get a show of hands if you rockin' with me. Ain't no stopping us now, we bout to bounce quickly. I'm about to start a movement, put your fist up. Everything all black from the wrist up, yeah. Leather gloves, no prints, what? We about to dip, deep cut, yeah. Now bring it back like a boomerang. Who that man, do that thing, coming through like Buddha Bang. Setting booby traps for girls and goofy cats. Hog-tied and handcuffed through in the back. Zip locked and sealed up and tossed away.
Yo.
I don't know about your future, but it's bad today. I'm a prophet and a guru and the rap police. You in the belly of the beats, masterpiece. Look at me, take a picture, it'll last.
What's going on, fellas?
The mirror on the wall say I'm getting.
Welcome to another crab market day. I am muted. Let's go, man. You didn't miss anything. I said, I did a joke. You guys missed the joke this morning, though. I went, instead of going, yo, I went, yo. Oh, man. Anyways, another day, Bitcoin's, it seems like as though, like I said, well, like you guys, I thought you heard me say, it seemed as though Bitcoin is getting even more and more tight and sort of boring here, which is the calm before the storm we've been talking about, and we'll talk about it a little bit more today, and see what we can kind of dig up from the charts here. Not a lot of action going on. You actually have the stock market with way more action than Bitcoin. Once again, this time stock market to the downside, and Bitcoin not moving, which I think is a good thing. As we typically know, Bitcoin usually finds bottoms before the stock market and usually finds tops before the stock market. At least that's what I've noticed this year. It's been quite odd, as I may say. Green candle's fantastic. What's going on, guys? It's the calm before the storm, as we like to call it. We've talked about this a few times, guys, but the volatility has not been this low. Only 4 times in Bitcoin's history. We'll add on to that today. But you guys can see how low this is getting. This even continue this week. As this continues down, the lower this gets, based off the past, the more explosive the move will be when we get volatility coming back into the market. So let's get this, man. Let's get this. Stay up, stay easy. Like I said, someone yesterday was like, Jordan, I'm feeling depressed. Like I said yesterday, guys. All right? And like I said, no one else will tell you this. I'm going to be honest with you. I could sum up Bitcoin in 5 minutes, okay, for you. Ready? I'm going to sum it up for 5 minutes, and then I'm going to tell you... No, I'm just kidding. if you're feeling bored and you're feeling a little bit down, take a break from the charts. You ain't gonna miss anything, okay? I'm being dead ass. People won't tell you this because they'll want you to watch them because they need you to watch them. But like, take a break from the charts. You don't need to watch. Set an alert, high and low. Boom. When one of them goes off, come back. I'll be here streaming. Right? I'm being dead serious. But for everyone else that enjoys the calm before the storm, I'm quite enjoying it, man. I quite enjoy it. It's very, very peaceful. I haven't seen this much peace in the crypto market in a long time. There's always bears roaring or bulls roaring. Right now, there's neither side's roaring. It's kind of just like, yeah. You know, and it's quite peaceful. You don't have outrageous calls to the upside and to the downside. It's just pretty neutral, and sometimes it's nice. Franklin said, I did take a break, Jordan. I came back yesterday to the same thing. So we did take a break, and he came back. There we go, man. All right. Anyways, the DXY is dumping. Yeah, we'll talk about that today. So let's real quick talk about a little bit of the short-term price action, because we did have retail sales come out this morning, which I know a lot of the bears were talking about, and a lot of the news channels were talking about this morning. I always look and see the thumbnails of what people are talking about. It's a good counter trade. You ever want to counter trade people? Just type in Bitcoin on search. You can just do the opposite of what everyone's thinking. So retail sales. Everyone thought this was going to be horrible. It actually came in. Retail sales is actually up 1% month over month, and that was projected to be 0.4%. So you actually have a lot of retail sales happening over here in the U.S., which the dollar was going up before that. And what do you know? This is, guys, the 702 retracement on the dollar works every single freaking time. Look at the dollar. We actually got a little bit of a fake out breakout above this trend line. Retail sales came out right when we hit that 702. Boom, right? Gets sent back down to the shadow realm, and now it looks like we're breaking back below that trend line, which is good for the stock market and is good for Bitcoin. So that's good. Doesn't mean it's going to pump Bitcoin. As we know, Bitcoin seems to be unpumpable right now, and we might need something a little bit bigger to get Bitcoin rolling here, but that's a good sign for the short-term charts, for the stock market, right? So dollar gets sent back down as retail sales comes in very, very hot. And we always like, it seems like the economy's doing bad, but the economy is doing just damn fine. And it's not just doing fine, it's actually doing, right, according to this, ridiculously well. So that's what we got going on in the short term. Not really seeing a reaction from Bitcoin because Bitcoin is unmovable, guys. We know this. Don't rage at me. He came in with 2 gifted memberships, man. Shout out to Don't Rage at Me, man.
Strap
Thanks
up.
for spending
We're going to the
positive
moon.
vibes on this Tuesday morning. You know, I decided to sleep in a little bit this morning, and that's why I was a little bit late, guys, so I apologize. I know some of you guys don't mind it, though, because some of you guys live on the central time frame, Pacific time frame, so you're like, damn, you're starting a little bit later. I have some time to sleep in, too. How many of you guys just wake up in the morning, like when I do the morning streams, you guys just wake up and you watch me in bed? There's probably a couple of you guys. Well, there you go. I gave you an extra 15 minutes of snooze. It works out for all of us, fellas. We got the Dunkin' coffee this morning, by the way. But yeah, short-term charts, I'm not going to spend too much time on Bitcoin. I think it's pointless. As you can see, we've had predictions for the past 6 days, and what's Bitcoin done?
Nope.
Nothing, right? So short-term charts, pointless. And I'm going to continue to say that until I think it's actually meaningful. It ain't meaningful right now, guys. Now, to add on to this, right, so we got the dollar at least trying to come down. We'll see what happens for the rest of the day. Stocks just keep coming down, which is fine. But we want to see these bounce. And we've talked about this multiple times. Bitcoin usually breaks out when the S&P reaches all-time highs. And the S&P has gotten a correction the last couple weeks. But I think the key thing is you're seeing Bitcoin hold, right? So typically when you see the S&P getting freaking trounced to the downside, which the S&P is, I mean, since about the beginning of August, has been getting a pretty good pullback here. But Bitcoin hasn't budged. And I think that's a good thing. So we're waiting for the S&P to find some type of low. Where is it? It's hard to tell with this one. But we're waiting for it to find some type of low. As soon as it starts coming back up, I think that's when we could see some positive action on Bitcoin. Maybe not breaking through 31K just yet, but at least trying to at least mosey its way back up into its old range. So S&P waiting for a bounce, but, you know, once again, a pullback is needed. It was needed on this. You know what I mean? Like, this was an incredible first half of the year. We're just looking to continue to make higher lows on the S&P. So that's what we got overall. But like to go back to Bitcoin, if you missed the streams the last couple weeks, or I guess the last week or so, we've been talking about historical volatility for Bitcoin, and you guys can see it just keeps going down, right? We're now at the 4th lowest point in Bitcoin's history. We're actually approaching the third point, where it was back in July of 2020, right before the bull market started for Bitcoin, the true bull market. We're approaching those levels. So, like I said, the last 3 times volatility has been this low have resulted in 3 of Bitcoin's biggest moves in the last 6 years to the upside. One of them, the 4th time, was October 2018, which was Bitcoin's biggest move down in its history. So you can see that, you know, these moves, right? January 2023, July 2020, April 2019, October 2018. Go look at those in the charts. Those are 3 of Bitcoin's biggest moves. We actually have them here, so, right? So we have January, we have July 2020, we have March of 2019, and we have October 2018. So, you know, depending on if you're a bull or a bear, you can pick a direction, but you guys know my take. Why? You know, we're going to talk about the same thing because I'm going to talk about what I think matters, even though if I'm saying the same thing over and over. Hash ribbons. Hash ribbons buy signal, which has been 14 for 14 in Bitcoin's history, did flash a buy signal on Sunday. It's not a short-term indicator. Okay, so if we don't pump this week, that's not what it means, okay? It means over the course of, based on history, over the course of the next, like, month or so, you should see Bitcoin get an upwards move. Once again, not a short-term indicator, so don't come at me if Bitcoin doesn't pump tomorrow. It's usually within the next couple weeks that you see Bitcoin have an upwards move. You combine that with the low volatility, I think it sets up for a very, very interesting time, all right? And I can talk about some other stuff. Yo, Crypto Shock! He said, hit the like button, nerds. What's going on, Crypto Shock? Good to see you, buddy. Your mom, let's go, man. He said, here we go. Good to see your mom in the chat. Boot said, get some more sats. You heard? You heard? I'm waiting for a nice little pullback. I sort of said that. I said this on Sunday. I said, I hope this week is red for Bitcoin. It's been nothing. You know, I was hoping for a pullback this week. You know, as we got that hash ribbon signal. A nice little red candle so I can buy a little more sats, right? Before the inevitable, but doesn't seem like Bitcoin wants to do that just yet. So that's where we're sitting. Brian Miller, what's up? Fiat going to another realm next 5 years. Fiat going to another realm. I'm sure you think to the upside, bro. Wes, he said, I watch all your streams in bed. Wes, you might be a little bit behind, man. You might have to fast forward the stream. I said that like 10 minutes ago. You might have to go press the live button. So in the video, you'll see the live button on the bottom right. Press that. That'll bring you back to live. You might be a little bit behind. You know, but I'm glad you watch me in bed every single day, man. I do that too. I do that too. You know, I watch people on the shitter in bed, you know. Sometimes I might do a little fart, you know, like right now I might be farting. You never know. You know, it's only Tuesday. We're just getting started. What's going on, Kennedy? Brian said, "Morning. You know I'm in bed." Oh, Brian, don't be doing that, man. Don't be doing that today. All right. So, you know, as we talk about the same stuff we've been talking about for Bitcoin, it's really like this is the other thing we've been talking about, like. Just because you get the buy signal does not mean you're going to pump right away. We've also been looking at this chart and comparing it to 2016 where, you know, we're above the bull market support band. We've gotten a bounce. We've gotten a bounce. We've gotten a rejection. We've gotten a rejection. So you'll notice higher lows, same resistance on the top side. We've also talked about like how the bull market support band comes up like this slowly over time. We could just see Bitcoin kind of just squeeze in between this for a few more weeks before getting the move. Very similar to what we saw back in 2016, back here, where we basically were above the bull market support band. We could not get above this level, and you guys can see that we got rejected, came back down to the bull market support band, hold us a higher low, came back up, higher low, came back up, higher low, before eventually we didn't have any more room in here, right? And we had to get an upside move, or a downside move. We got an upside move this time. So, you know, once again, I think as this low volatility market continues, as you guys can see here, volatility low, it could certainly get lower, right? So I've sort of said this. I think until we see a move, you're going to see it get even more boring, right? So you guys can see, like, it was boring before, but the last week has been dreadful. Dreadful. I think we've been in a $200 range for a week. $200 range. Like, that is brutal. And it could keep getting worse, fellas. Until we see volatility come back. Oh, here comes Ra for this sushi. Nice. It's kind of like a song. So we got to make a remix of the sushi. Shout out to Raf Bean with his sushis. What's going on, bro? Let's see. Jordan, put Michael Burry short on the chart. Let's see how it plays out next few months. The Michael Burry short. Well, what I saw about the Michael Burry short is it's basically just a hedge for him. So, like, if you look up what his fund actually holds, he's actually net long. The hedge, the short seems to be a hedge. So, I mean, take that for whatever you will. I know people are like, oh, 1.6 billion short. You gotta understand, he's also using a shitload of, it's an option, right? So, like, I think it's actually only like a $200 million position. When I say only, like for a fund like his, that's not actually the biggest position in the world. I think people are hyping that up a little bit too much. But, hey, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. It's not like his movie where he's going all in. You know what I mean? A Franco wannabe? A Franco wannabe? Yeah, he is a Franco. Where's Franco been, man? Franco just must be bored as shit. There's a lot of people I haven't seen in a while, man. I haven't seen Franco in the chat. I haven't really seen Clint in the chat. I haven't seen a lot of lot of my favorite names in the chat, man. I see a lot of cool people in here though. Green Candle Fanatic, Whale Talk. What's up, buddy? Don't rage at me. Said, can we get your professional FOMO analysis on HBAR? Don't FOMO, man. Go for the coins that haven't pumped yet. If you FOMO into the coins that already pumped, you're gonna get wrecked. You know what I mean? And that's why right now it's been pretty easy to spot the altcoins that are gonna move. It's basically the ones that haven't moved yet. But you know how it is. Like, typically you get people that want to buy the ones that pump. They pull back. They get frustrated. They say, I'm down. When in reality, you shouldn't really be down on it. Like, you shouldn't really be down, right? Nothing's really gone down that much over the course of the last couple months, you know? Brian! They all died of boredom. They'll be back on the first green candle. Just like Mike said in the Discord today, he's like, man, Jordan's like Austin Powers who lost his mojo. And I said, you know, as soon as I see a candle that's worthy of something, like it could be a green or red candle, my mojo will be back. But right now, it's tough to have the mojo, man. It's tough to have the mojo. All right, to add on to a few things of confluence here, right? Real quick for Bitcoin, we'll look at some altcoins. Our trend line. So we've talked about this trend line a few times, and whenever we seem to come to this trend line, it seems to get a little bit bearish here. So August 7th, obviously, we came to our trend line here, and we got a bounce. Yesterday, we came to this trend line, we saw a little bit bounce, and now we're back to this trend line again. So here we go, right? And we're sort of running out a little bit of a room for Bitcoin to, I mean, it certainly could just keep going sideways here and just completely ignore this. But typically when you have something like this that everyone's watching, right? So this is a trend line that an ape can draw this trend line. So you got everyone and their mother watching this trend line. It's not like the greatest thing. It's not like the greatest thing since sliced bread, right? So what happens when you have these trend lines, you'll have a lot of people looking to buy these trend lines, and also people who, if they break, they're going to be a little bit bearish, right? Because anyone and their mother can draw this trend line. It's the hopium trend line. We've been looking at this for months. Get out of here, man. Windows security. Get out of here! But we're back to this trend line again. So you can see that we're kind of running out of room here for crab action. And I think this also adds some confluence on shit that we're on top of the bull market support band, running out of room for us to kind of just keep going sideways without like a bigger decisive move. And also how like volatility going into that is at all-time lows. I think you can add some awesome confluence to that. And then you also have the stock market, which has been pulling back. Looks like it's been holding here for the past 4 days. S&P might be trying to find some type of bottom here. Dollar hit to 702, is now pulling back. I think you have some interesting confluences coming up here for Bitcoin over the course of the next few days. So we'll see, right? I would treat this as support until it's not, because it's held as support the last few times, and kind of go from there. But another thing to watch for Bitcoin is, as you know, if for all your pattern lovers out there, you got a little bit of a left shoulder head, right shoulder, inverse head and shoulders bottom here on the daily. That you can sort of, I mean, it's very clear as day. Like I said, an ape can draw the inverse head and shoulders on here. It doesn't take a rocket scientist. Left, head, right, it's there. You can see it. You just need it to round out here. A lot of confluence there, right? So enough on Bitcoin. I think you guys know my take on Bitcoin. We're just kind of waiting for it at this point, which is, it's cool, man. It's cool. The piece is cool, man. The piece is freaking cool. Feel like Yoda out here, Chewy says, I'm here, dead, Bitcoin or not. Chewy, you're always here, man. I respect you for that, bro. I respect you for that. But I also don't, dude, if you're not here for like a week, if you want to take a break, guys, this is the perfect time to just give yourself a little bit of a refresher. You know what I mean? There's Franco! There he is. There he is, man. He said the zoo animals are such. The rhino, the elephants, the sheep, the squirrel. I'm waiting for it to start to pop up here. Shout out to Franco, man. I like ETH for a move up today. All right, so enough about Bitcoin. I think you guys get the point for Bitcoin here. Dollar's trying to bounce now. Come on, man. Altcoin land. Let's check ETH. Because we know ETH is a very similar thing for Bitcoin here, right? So we got our trend line for Ethereum. You've been holding there, at least a little bit here, over the course of the last few weeks. You've been holding out here for ETH. So it's been slow for ETH since about April, right? Nothing's really moved. It hasn't been bearish. It hasn't really been bullish since March. You kind of just been sitting going sideways, right? And here we are, right? Once again, trying to make another low or higher low, and we've done it so far. So like I said, man, it's getting tight. We talked about Bitcoin's low volatility. It's the same thing for ETH, and ETH has been accumulating in a bullish pattern here over the course of the last, year plus.
The zoo has animals such as rhinoceros,
there it is,
elephant, ram, sheep, chipmunk, rabbit, bear, panda, penguin, owl,
oh my
duck,
lord,
eagle, hedgehog,
let's block it out. We're blocking it out, fellas. Franco comes in. This is Franco's intro song. If he was ever in the WWE. That's Franco's intro song. All right, but, like I said, we should be, based off this, right, where we gotten rejected at 2030 and then higher lows over the course of the last year, should be expected to move within the next month. And that's kind of been the motto here. But in between that month, it's going to be boring as shit. So just because you should be expecting to move doesn't mean the initial move is going to be big. It's probably going to be a slow, boring month, in my opinion, as if you sort of grind through this period and we do something like this, right? We kind of just grind here. I don't think it's going to be like this one upward sloping move like this. I think it's going to be more of a slow grind until we break out of this. So expect more boring action on Ethereum, I'd say. I wouldn't be expecting anything explosive, until Bitcoin gets whatever explosive movement will be. And what's going to be the narrative? It's probably going to be, I think it's got to be something to do with the ETFs. As BlackRock's ETF deadline, I think, is in 2 weeks. So something tells me that's going to be the narrative. But today, actually, some news. News is whatever. What I noticed about the news recently is it's been getting pretty bearish. Like you got the Michael Burry stuff. You also got the China economy stuff. You know, you're getting definitely more of the bearish news headlines. One of the bullish ones, though, well, I don't really think it's that bullish, but first EU spot Bitcoin ETF hits Amsterdam exchange. Whatever. But it's cool to see, right? It's cool to see that Europe is launching these. Whatever. You guys know what I feel about news. A lot of times you do the opposite of what the news is. So that's what we got over here. Over this on the news, and that's it. Now there's been no news, which I guess is cool, and that's probably why you're seeing the market do nothing, because there's been no news. We need some like bearish or bullish news to do the opposite of. FUD. Exactly, Blaze. Brian said institutional investors are already dumping ETH. ETH CPI slipped into negative territory. It doesn't look like they're dumping it, you know? You know what I mean? Retail investors aren't here, so if ETH is staying the same price, that means people are just holding it. You know? But it is what it is. Because there ain't no fresh money coming in the market right now. You need green candles for fresh money to come into the market. Grayscale trial is ending today. I saw something about that today. I did see something about that. Let me see. Grayscale's trial. Where was that? I saw something about that today. Grayscale's trial could end this week. I think a lot of those trial things, it's like the XRP case. How many times was I told that that the case is gonna be settled? And it took like what, 3 years? You know, like. I never get my hopes up with any like the legal stuff, because that stuff can just get dragged on over and over and over again. Let's see. Monero is going to kill market this bull run. Monero. Anyways, let's look at H bar. I know. Don't hodl me. H bar just continues up. H bar is almost back up to the top of the range. So. Yeah, I mean, it's been a really good week for H-Bar. This was kind of one of them that, I mean, get like a nice 30% week this week for H-Bar, almost back up to the top of the range. So as we approach the top of the range, that's where you be a little bit cautious. You don't get bullish at the top of the range. This is where you start, you know, if it's a hodl bag and you got in at 4 cents, you just chill. If it's a trade, you get back up to the top of the range, you're probably looking to take some profits here. But, you know, it depends what your goal is. But definitely deserves a little bit of a pump song this morning. One of the only ones probably deserves a pump song. And, you know, this is a great example of what we talked about yesterday, right? So a lot of people will see this candle, okay? And this is where retail starts to FOMO into the one that moved, okay? Instead of going look for one of them, and they keep, like I said, they keep all pumping one by one it slowly. If yours hasn't done it yet, it's probably a matter of time before yours does it. But, you know, don't FOMO into the ones that already moved. Anyways, pumps off. Let's do this. Pump song for H-Bar. I got you, Brett. What's going on over here? All right, so stock market opened 12 minutes ago. I sort of missed that here. Let's see. Nasdaq's holding the start. S&P's bouncing. Dow Jones is bouncing. Dow Jones it's actually a nice chart on the Dow Jones. This looks like it wants to bounce back up. And then the dollar is being a little wacky this morning. So we'll see. If the dollar breaks up, like look at the perfect rejection off the 702. The 702 on the dollar, I'm telling you, man. I gotta start trading Forex. The dollar moves so predictably. The 702. Perfect rejection. We want the dollar to break back below this trend line here. If it does, you know, it's probably not going to look great. And, you know, what I've noticed about the dollar is whenever you start seeing news, so like right now, everyone's talking about how China's economy is bad, you know? So everyone's probably expecting the dollar just to pump to the moon. It's kind of similar to down here, right? So when the dollar was at the low down here, what was the news? Okay, the news was all the countries are dumping the dollar to get into their other currencies, and that was the bottom on the dollar. You can't make this shit up. Now we come up here. If this is the top of the dollar, it would not surprise me, because now you got basically people are bullish on the dollar because China economy is bad. We'll see, but it wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. So another example of doing the opposite of what the news is. So yeah, that's kind of the dollar there. We'll see where that ends up at the going into tomorrow. Anyways, that's that, guys. I mean, there's not I don't have this like crazy thing to tell you. It's the same thing we've been talking about for the last 3 days. Is I'm looking to scoop up some pullbacks if we get pullbacks, because I'm gonna go with the indicator that has not been wrong here for Bitcoin. So I'm expecting an upside move, but I'm also expecting very, very boring price action until that upside move happens. Based off history, that upside move, if I'm expecting the upside move, I expect that to be within the next, like we've been saying, next 1 to 2 weeks. If it's anything like the previous moves here on the Bitcoin volatility index, right? And that's that, right? I think trying to make up some other shit just to make it up, I think is relatively pointless. And if you have conviction in a certain setup, there's no need to look at 1,000 other indicators. You're just confusing yourself, you know? John said, even Jordan is bored to death. Bro, I've said this multiple times, like, this is the most boring market I've ever been in crypto. It's never been this boring before. Never. It's brutal. It's brutal, dude. It is absolutely brutal. But I don't mind it. Like I said, it's peaceful at the current moment, and it gives you more time. I've always said this, like, you're going to look back and wish you had more time. So we can complain about it, but I guarantee you we'll complain about it later, saying, I didn't have enough time to accumulate. I wish I had more time. We'll complain about it later. I know we all want Moon and Lambo tomorrow, but if you have more time to be able to accumulate, right, you make more money in the long run. So I honestly don't mind if Bitcoin wants to keep chopping in here. It gives me more time to accumulate the altcoins that I want at the lows, because many altcoins are still at the bare bone lows, and it gives me more time. I mean, I'll make more money in the grand scheme of things as Bitcoin goes sideways. So I don't mind it, really. I mean, it sucks. It doesn't make, it doesn't make streaming fun. You know what I mean? It's way more fun when something's happening. It's brutal when nothing's happening. All right? You guys know, right? I mean, it is. I'm a human. I'll tell you, right? I'm not going to be fake. It sucks. It sucks when nothing's going on. But at the end of the day, if we're sort of looking at this from a positive standpoint, we will look back and say, damn, I wish Bitcoin went sideways longer. You know? I don't mind it. And I said, like, if Bitcoin wants to go sideways for the rest of 2023, so be it. So be it. It won't be fun, but so be it. I don't think it's going to go sideways for the rest of 2023. But that's not my take. But if it did, so be it, man. You know what I mean? Tony wants more time to the end of the year. I think everyone wants more time. I think that's the thing, right? Everyone wants more time. But that's what I've noticed. You know, everyone wants more time. You got to celebrate. Exactly, Beth. You got to celebrate, man. Yo, Dragon. What's up, bro? What's going on? Drew said time. You can't get time back. Dude, say time one more time. Time. Just gonna keep saying it now to piss you off. For Hoopty wants to dump it so he can accumulate at lower prices. Like I said, I've been kind of hoping that Bitcoin was going to have a red week this week, but I don't. This has been holding pretty well. And if the dollar starts coming back down, and this actually, like, I would not be surprised if the bad news that came out recently marks the low for the stock market, and also marks the high for the dollar. We always counter trade the news, guys. The news has been, oh, Michael Burry shorting the stock market. Even though, don't get me started about Michael Burry, man. People act like he's a god. He literally was shorting the stock market like 2 years before the dump actually happened. You know what I mean? Like, okay, he finally was right, but like at the end of the day, the stock market was like going up for 2 years before he was actually right. So like it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? Like if you watch that movie, he was literally close to being liquidated on his position, and he got lucky that it actually happened right when it was supposed to. You know, so it cracks me up, and people are like, oh my God, Michael Burry's shorting. It's like, okay, cool. And then the other one is the China economy being bad. But we got to understand, with the China GDP going down, that means they're going to start printing money again. And we know what happens when you print money, things go up. You know, so I think some of this bad news is really not that bad, but what it does is it scares retail out of the market. Like, oh my God, Michael Burry's shorting. I got a short too. You know, and basically that's what you get. You know. Naughty Frank. Don't rage at me. So what happened to all the hype and FOMO about Pulse Chain and Pulse X? It's too early for that, man. I don't want to piss off the Hex people, man. I don't even know if there's any Hex people anymore. I think they gave up. I haven't seen a Hex fan in... It's been a long time. It's been a long time. But I hope they... my one thing is... I always said this, man. Do not invest in a token where the owner wears designer clothes. I'm telling you, it's not going to end well. It's not going to end well. I'm telling you. A real dev who cares about their project is going to wear t-shirts and hoodies. I'm telling you, look at all the biggest projects in crypto that haven't rugged. All seem very down to earth, not about themselves type of people. I'm just saying. Maybe I'm judging a little bit, but I think it's true. You know, it is what it is. Look at Vitalik, Charles Hoskinson. We don't know who Satoshi is, but I bet he was a guy who wore t-shirts. you know, like, don't do it, man. Oh, we can look at Pulse Chain real quick. Yeah, this thing looked like it wanted to go lower. Pulse Chain, it's gone, and Hex is probably even worse. Let's see. Yeah, this thing is done. This thing's done. Anyways. Hex is done. The owner of FTX wears hoodies. That is one thing that kind of disproves my theory here. But you know what I'll say? You know, Sam Bankman-Fried, we don't know what the true story, right? All we know is what we hear. Obviously, it wouldn't surprise me if his little weasel girlfriend was the one behind the whole thing and he got thrown under the bus. You know what I mean? It wouldn't surprise me at all. If he was like, you know, I trust this girl, I'm going to let her do all the finances because, you know, she's my girlfriend. She's not going to do anything wrong. And she was the one doing everything wrong. And he's the scapegoat. Wouldn't surprise me whatsoever if that was the true case. But we'll never know, right? We hear what we hear in the news and we go with it, right? That's what we do now. Let's see. It doesn't matter what they wear. Don't trust them. True. That is true. Except for SBF. SBF was a wolf in hoodie clothing. He was a wolf in hoodie clothing, man. He's in jail for leaking Caroline's diary to the New York Times. Oh, man. All right. What do we got going on? All right, NASDAQ's bouncing back nice. This is actually a level I had marked out here on the NASDAQ because this was a level that we had some reactions in the past. So the NASDAQ's actually reacted nicely off that level. We'll see if it can continue today. The big thing for me is the dollar. If the dollar starts breaking down lower today, I think that's very, very good for assets here because since about July 18th, if you look at the bottom of the dollar, that was July 18th. The week of July 18th for Bitcoin actually was the week right after we had that local top. So, you know, if this can be a reversal point for the dollar, which it wouldn't surprise me because everyone was freaking about on retail sales today, and it seems like the economy is absolutely killing it right now, actually. Like I said, that's a massive hot read on retail sales. Wouldn't surprise me if the dollar continues down here. But We gotta watch this. We gotta watch this, man. Altcoin lands. You guys know me. I sort of look through the altcoin market. You know, lately I haven't been doing it every day. I used to do it every day, but lately I do it every couple days. There's not much, right? We had kind of had the SHIB move play out. If you caught that one, nice. The other one we've been talking about is Sushi Swap. This one is very intriguing to me. This is kind of the next one on my radar that I want to start looking at here. But I want to see it get back above these lows. Then you got the clean wipe off, and it's a swap. So Sushi Swap is another one where it got absolutely capitulated. Retail capitulated in this one, and if we start breaking back into this range, that's when I'm looking to pick up some Sushi Swap. It's the same play as SHIB. Once again, guys, don't listen to the news about a project. That's one of the biggest things. It's like people will be like, but Sushi Swap had so much bearish things happen to it. That's exactly when that's exactly what news wants you to think. You know what I mean? So if sushi gets back into this range, I'm looking to pick up some sushi. Pick up some sushi with some soy sauce. You know what I'm saying? So that sushi, there really ain't much. The other ones are kind of the ones I already have. I don't want to, and like kind of the ones that I already have, like Arbitrum. It's not really going back into my buy level, so that's cool. Rose, I'm going to keep accumulating down here because you're kind of just at the lows. I'm just going to kind of keep picking up Rose as you're down here. Some of these other ones already moved. Render, if it keeps going down, I'm going to keep DCAing into Render. But a lot of the other ones that I already like already kind of moved. So unless they come back down to the lows, I'm kind of cool with those. So PYR had a nice move yesterday. That's one we've been talking about the last few weeks. That actually had about a 15% move yesterday. But yeah, same thing with PYR. If it comes back down to lows, I'm looking to pick up some more PYR. Besides that, we are, just kind of waiting and chilling. Blur. Let's look at Blur. Blur is, I just don't feel, there's something about this chart that I just don't like. And I think it's because it doesn't have a range and it doesn't make me feel comfortable. It just kind of keeps going down, man. There's no strength on this bad boy. So it's hard to know, like, where you should buy this. You know? That's my problem with Blur. Because you're kind of you're in price discovery to the downside. You don't have like a range like this where you had the bear market and then you've been kind of doing this. You know? Where this one you can say pretty confidently, okay, I'm going to scoop up at the lows and just kind of go from there. This one, what do you do with this one? You know what I mean? You don't have an invalidation point where you can be like, okay, if it gets to this point, I'm out. You're just kind of like, I don't know. So you could always gamble and say, I think this is the low, but for me, I rather, like I said, it used to be different back in the days. There was only 200-300 altcoins. You only had so many to choose from. Now it's like, why am I going to risk my money on something I'm not confident in when I can find 1,000 altcoins that have a way better chart? You know? That's my take. But hey, if you like Blur as a project, by all means, go for it, man. If you believe in NFTs, you know me, I'm not the biggest NFT guy in the world. But by all means, you go for it, man. Later, John. Have a good one, bud. For Hoopy said, why no stream last night? We got stuff to do this week in the afternoon, man. We got McDonald's to go to. And also, honestly, one stream a day is good. I said this in the Discord too. I could sum up Bitcoin in one stream a week right now. Okay? One stream a week is all that's needed. You know what I mean? But, I enjoy coming on and talking about the market, so I still come on every day. Later, Joey. Later, man. But yeah, especially 2 streams a day is so pointless right now. There's no point. You could argue that 1 stream a day is pointless. You know, it really is. It really is. All right. Jim said, got your Griff. I'll look more into that. What's Griff talking about? I'll look at Seek VR. Seek VR, dude. For Hoopty said, but I get Camirand withdrawal. You got me right now, man. You got me right now. And guess what? I don't know. I don't know what I was going to say. I was going to come up with some random shit. All right. Where are we at? We're like an hour. We're like an hour into this bad boy. What do we got over here? There's not too much going on, man. Stocks are down to start the day. Dollar's down to start the day. Bitcoin's down to start the day. We got everything down to start the day. Altcoins are down to start the day. Seems like everything's down today. Gaming Bat said, Super Chat testing Zoom Out Pro. Shout out to Gaming Batman. Gaming Batman. Get it? Batman? What's up, buddy? Zoom out, man. Yeah. That's why I honestly shouldn't even have this chart up. Like, it's like, what are we going to do with this? Let's just stick to the weekly chart. All right, just stick to this chart. This is all. If I had to pick one chart to look at right now, it's just this chart right here. Just give me the bull market support band and the hash ribbons. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, that's all you need. Bull market support band and hash ribbons. Boom. There we go. We're good to go, man. Wes said, I'm also down today. Tired as F. True, true, true. Palajic said, stay up. Let's get a good tone for the day. Let's get it, man. We're good, bro. I'm trying to, I'm trying to see what I want to do today as far as a little DTA. Do we go with Rose? I'm feeling it, man. Feeling Rose today. Mike said maybe Jordan is at a BenCoin weekly seminar. No. 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 That's so. I'm not. Jeez. That's the thing, man. You can't even say stuff anymore. But yeah, you'll not see me with BenCoin, man. Burry Short is not in the green. Burry Short's not in the green. When did he short? I don't even know when he shorted. I'm sure he shorted the S&P. I don't know when he shorted though. You know. Let's get this go, fellas. It's Tuesday. We got a nice thing going on, and today's gonna be a good day. Today is gonna be a good day. Either a nice sideways accumulation day, or an up day.
Say make money, money,
or a dip day.
Money, money. Make money, money,
we'll take whatever one we get.
Money makes the world go round. I'm the talk around town. Remy gave me the sound. I need a Skrilla on the Rilla. I need a Skrilla on the Rilla.
It's gonna be a good day, fellas. There's even the Ben logo. Alright, enough about Ben. Enough about Ben, man.
I need a Skrilla on the Rilla. Survival of the fittest, you can sink or swim. I've been.
Let's do this, fellas. Excited for my McDonald's shift tonight. We're making so many fries. So we can DCA into Rose. Let's get this, man. Let's get this shit. Come on, volatility. Keep going down. Man, look at this. You guys think we're going to reach the bottom as low as we ever been here? I think we're going to. It looks like if the rest of this week is boring, which it kind of looks like that's going to be the case so far, as we're already 3 days into the week and nothing's happened. If the rest of this week is going to be boring, it looks like we're going to actually go and test the FTX lows as far as volatility, which is pretty crazy, considering that's going to be crazy, man. But yeah, it looks like volatility is going to come that low, man. But I've sort of said this. Expect probably 1 or 2 more weeks of just absolute boring shit. But after that, that's where it gets very interesting, because then you start getting to the point where, like I said, you get to that November 2018 level, you get to that July of 2020 level, which we're already at, and you get to that January of this year level, right? And that's where you see the turnarounds all throughout this time period. But for the next, like I said, next 1 to 2 weeks, don't get down. Just understand that the boring times are needed in the market to sort of reset things, reset sentiment, right? So we went from a little bit euphoric when Bitcoin first hit 31K, but look at the, it's funny. Look at the market now, right? Bitcoin's down from the peak of the close. Bitcoin is down 6% from the highs. But how is the sentiment, right? So it hasn't really gone down that much, but yet the sentiment is shit, you know? And that's what sideways action does. It basically allows you to reset sentiment without actually the price having to go down that much. So I think that's the biggest thing, is understand that the sideways action is time capitulation, gets a lot of retail out of the market, it resets sentiment, gets people down, even though nothing's really happening, and it's good. It's good. It's like it's basically a correction, because you can get two types of corrections. You can get down corrections, you can get sideways corrections. It's a nice little sideways correction there. But yeah, and man, let's do this. I'm also in test, so that probably is the actual cause. Eating, you're in testosterone drunk bear. Be careful with that shit, man. I would say just stay natural. Just stay natural, man. To me, I mean, I could rant about that all day, but I think the downsides, I mean, whatever. I guess it depends. It depends. Veal dude said, nah, dude, it's over. It's over, man. It's over. It's so over. Gianni, say, yo, what's up? What's new? What's up, new? No, nothing much is new, man. Enjoying the peaceful market until we get some type of move. That's all. I'm old? Oh, you're old. I always forget that. I always feel like some of you guys are like the same age as me, but I forget some of you guys are like a little bit older. Some of you guys are a little bit younger. Let's see. All right, guys, I have all your screenshots in the chat. I don't forget. You know me. I don't forget. I got all your screenshots. I come on here and I talk about what I think every day, right? So you guys have got all my screenshots too. But don't, just remember, okay? Just remember, when next time you say I told you so, you know? Frank Fractal said, sir, you can't delete these chats yet. Don't delete them. Don't delete them, man. What is your peak prediction of BTC this year? Who knows, man? I think I've always said this. Price predictions are pointless. Focus on direction. Don't focus on an exact price. I think that's somewhat pointless. If it's going to be like history, I mean, just to make a wild guess, no one really knows. If it's going to be anything like history, typically in this year, the cycle, we do see the retracement levels. Typically, we see at least a 0.5 retracement. So that is at 42,000, which is not that big of a move for where we are now, actually. Why do I say that? Well, if you take this cycle, see, we went to the 0.5 retracement. And we take this cycle, we went to the 0.5 retracement. So we've been saying that all year. Sideways up. I told you. The Sun contacted them, but there was no response. True. Why are you guys saying this is copium, though? I think some of you guys might be trolling, but I'm curious why some of you guys might be saying copium. You know? When I guess the reason why I'm looking for a bounce is from an indicator that has never been wrong. Is that really copium, or is going against that copium? Genuine question, right? I would argue that going against an indicator that's never been wrong, and we're not talking 4 out of 4 times, 5 out of 5 times, we're talking 15 out of 15 times. I think going against that is sort of copium, right? I don't know. We'll see, right? But once again, you gotta make a decision, right? You gotta make a decision, and you gotta be confident in your decision. So I'm very confident in Bitcoin going higher. Once again, it's not gonna be today or tomorrow, but over the course of the next few weeks, zoomed out. I'm expecting a higher move. You got to be confident, man. If you're flip-flopping every day, you're gonna not make any right decisions because you flip-flop every day based off whatever the current daily candle is. You know what I mean? You got to have some confidence in your call, because if you don't have confidence in your call, you're never going to be able to replicate what you're calling, right? You're just going to get lucky sometimes and unlucky sometimes. I need Jordan to do a Horse Guy compilation from a lot of his streams. A 10-minute video of Horse Guy best moments. We do need that, man. One day we'll do it. We'll do a nice compilation someday. Man. Can you name the indicator that printed a buy? It's the hash ribbons, man. Hash ribbons basically tells you when the miners capitulate. And when the miners typically capitulate, that's actually a good thing. Anyways, I'm calling it a stream, guys. Expect more boring sideways, right? Don't get fooled by any candles until you actually see a decisive move. Don't get fooled by any candles, okay? Don't make rash decisions based off short-term time frames. I've seen over the course of the last 6 days, all these wicks, people are like, oh, Bitcoin's pumping, it's dumping, it's pumping, it's dumping. It ain't doing shit, okay? Accept it. Don't get all rambled up, and if Bitcoin, pumps up here, and don't be like, if Bitcoin's pumping, if it dumps down here, don't be like Bitcoin's dumping, it ain't doing shit, okay? Wait for some type of decisive move, right? So, like, before you get any type of, like, emotionally attached, well, you shouldn't be emotionally attached, but any type of, like, excitement over any type of move, it ain't this. It ain't this, fellas, all right? So, once again, it's a good time to take some breaks off charts if you need it. For the meantime, like I said, over the course of time here, I'm expecting Bitcoin to make a higher price because of the hash ribbons buy signal, and I expect it to be relatively soon because of the volatility being at all-time lows on BTC. All right? Anyways, I'm out of here. Enjoy the crab market, fellas. Don't rage at me. Shout out to you, bro. Shout out to you, man. I'll catch you guys tomorrow.
We're going to the moon.
Bitcoin's at its trend line on the daily. It would not surprise me if actually Bitcoin had an upwards move today, because we are at this trend line here, right? Where we've already gotten 2 bounces, and we've held for this the entire year, and we're sitting right on top of that right now. So I'm out of here. Peace out. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Don't do anything I want to do. Don't pay say crypto. Most of all, don't pay say crypto. Most of all, don't pay say crypto to BlackRock, as we've been saying. Daddy, why don't we have any Bitcoin? Because he sold all the BlackRock at 29K. Don't be this dad. You see this dad? He's indecisive. He's emotional. He gets emotional in every daily green or red candle. Don't be this guy. See the bags under his eyes? It's because he gets pumped on every green candle and bearish on every red candle. Don't be this guy, man. Have conviction. Just stay on the weekly chart. Stop going to the 1-hour chart. Have conviction. See this guy? Yeah. I'm out of here. Peace, fellas.